Okay, so we're back with part 2. So we left off with Kymberly's first marriage.
All hell breaking loose.
All hell breaking loose. So to give people context of who have not listened to our podcast and telling this story, and again, I'm only having her bring this up because it's going to lead into some other questions. So 2 years in, what happens and why did the lid blow off the first marriage?
So my ex-husband cheats. But he don't just cheat. He get a bitch pregnant. While we have a 2-year-old. And I remember being home sick, bronchitis, laying on the couch. I had taken our daughter to daycare because I was so sick I just couldn't take care of her that day. I needed the break because I wasn't feeling good. And thought he went to work. Woke up on the couch, 11 o'clock in the morning. He's sitting on the love seat, drinking vodka, looking at me. And I'm like, what is going on? And he says, she's pregnant. And I'm like, who? And he's like, the woman I've been sleeping with is pregnant. And I felt myself come out of my body. It was an out-of-body experience. I remember it like it was yesterday, like I was hovering over the scene. And I remember just screaming and crying, calling him everything but the child of God, hitting him, just crying, just could not control myself. I asked him who. He told me it was someone he worked with, someone that I knew, and she was at work. I got myself together enough to get in my car to go to his job. Before leaving, slashed his tires so he couldn't go nowhere because you're not going to come and follow me and protect her. So went to his job. He called the job ahead. They knew I was coming, and she barricaded herself in the office, and I was waiting, and I was ready, and I would have sat in my car and waited for weeks if I had to, because at that moment I was like, oh, she gonna get a piece of me, and then when I get home I'm gonna give him some more, because mind you, before I left, like, it was a knockdown drag out. Like, I was punching him, screaming, crying, sobbing, watching myself. I picked up a dining room chair and broke it on his back. I was horrified. I've never felt that much rage. I didn't even know a human being could feel that much rage. And when I got to where she worked, it wasn't going to be anything nice. And so she didn't come out. My dad was trying to talk me down. Go home. You have a baby. Taylor needs you. You can't go to jail. Mind you, I'm sitting in my car plotting how I could murder these people and get off. I'm looking at crimes of passion and everything. Like, it was about to go down. And he just kept saying, you can't do this. Taylor needs you. You have to pick her up today. She's at daycare. And I got myself together and I went home. When I got home, my family was there. My sister, my mother, my dad. And he was sitting on the step in our house, crying, drunk, because he had been drinking vodka all morning. Drunk, I kept rocking, I'm sorry. Trying to plead his case to my parents. And, I just came in crying. I was like, why? Just why? And he was like, I've never been a father before. I've never been a husband before. It was too much. And mind you, this is the same man who told me he didn't want me to work when our daughter was born. I stopped working. I had the higher earning potential, but I stopped working because he felt like I shouldn't work. I should be home taking care of the household and the child. And he's the man. So he should be the breadwinner.
And this goes back to what you talked about earlier with the financial struggles you guys were dealing
super
with.
financial struggle. So before all this went down, I had gone back to work because I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take being broke. That's not how, I ain't come from that. And I came from working people. So I'm going back to work because we need the money. My child needs things. So I'm going back to work and I don't care. So his thought was, I was too independent. I didn't need him. So he found someone who needed him. This person already had a child by another married man, and she's now pregnant with my husband's child. And he just felt like he could be himself with her. He was a heavy drinker. I didn't want that around my daughter. So I told him, like, you can't do that. You can't get drunk while I'm gone to get my hair done, and you're supposed to be taking care of the baby. You can't do that. He was very upset about that stuff. So she apparently allowed him to drink as much as he wanted. She was damn near broke, so he felt like he was needed. He felt like a man with her and not with me. So, but, you know, here I am thinking I need my marriage to work. I came from even though the household was dysfunctional, my parents were together for 18 years. All I ever knew was my parents being married. However bad it was, they were married. They raised us together. So I was like, we got to figure this out. We have to go to counseling. We have to go see our pastor. I can't break up my marriage. My daughter needs her mom and dad together. So we did that. We did some counseling. Still didn't work. You know, he was supposed to stop seeing her. He wasn't stopping. So in that process in that year to year and a half of us trying to make it work, I got pregnant again with Mackenzie, my youngest. And again, gained weight with that pregnancy. Shit, I think I gained 100 pounds with her. She was bigger than Taylor. So gained weight with her. And was also gaining weight because I was so depressed and my confidence was shit. I felt less than a woman. I couldn't keep my husband at home with me. What is wrong with me? All of that. Also feeling like, oh, he went with her because I'm fat. Because she's skinny. So
you basically internalized
the same logical thing would be, don't keep getting fat. Don't keep killing yourself. But I didn't. Went through depression. It was bad. 6 months after Mackenzie was born, I could not take it anymore. Left him and moved in with my mom and never looked back.
Okay. So at this point, like you said, you put on more weight. So from the time of the divorce, because you were single for 10 years before we got together, what was that process like from the divorce, I guess, till around the time we got together?
I yo-yo dieted like nobody's business.
What were your, so I guess at this point then, if you're yo-yo dieting, you're starting to understand that, okay, my weight is starting to become an issue.
Yeah,
so
I went to counseling after the divorce, after I left him.
What would you say, what was the point, when was it that you, I don't know, that kind of light bulb moment you were like, okay, I'm putting on like, okay, my weight is starting to become an issue.
When I couldn't keep up with Taylor and Mackenzie.
Okay.
Like, they were all over the place. And I just wanted to sit on the couch. And I couldn't play with them like they wanted to. Go to the park, go to the pool, do all that stuff. Like, I did it, but it was painful. And it was exhausting. And I was like, I gotta do something. So, yo-yo dieting shit. I went on a juice fast for 60 days and lost 60 pounds. So super happy. The next day after the 60th day, I had a bagel and gained that 60 pounds back. Like, it was a hot mess. I've done Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem. I've done the cabbage diet. I did the juice fasting. I did Slim Fast. I acted like I had bariatric surgery. Tried to live my life like I did, like without having it. Researched it and tried to eat the meal plan like a bariatric patient. That shit didn't work because a bariatric patient eats this much. So I was like, I'm hungry. I can't do whatever. So that didn't work. Water fasting. I've done everything. I considered getting my jaws wired shut.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. It was a lot.
So you knew food was the issue. It was clearly, if you're talking about getting your jaw wired shut, you knew you just couldn't control what you were putting in your mouth.
Mm-hmm. I would be sitting in the bed late at night watching Good Times, just eating.
Okay, so...
Eating and drinking, because I was drinking too.
Yeah, so we didn't even touch on that.
And those are just some serious empty calories.
So, and I don't think a lot of people realize how much drinking can affect your weight. Like you said, they're just empty calories. So, what would you say, looking back on it, was the catalyst for you to start the heavy drinking you were doing at that particular time?
I was depressed.
Okay.
I felt like nobody's going to want me. I've got these 2 kids. How am I... With the added stress of my ex-husband not being present, not helping with child support, not taking care of them like he should. I was the person that was trying to make the relationship between our daughters and him work. I was the one driving from Maryland to D.C. on a Friday evening, 2-hour rush hour drive to take my girls to stay with him while he lived with his grandmama and would tell me he don't have no food for them. I would pick him up with them, take them to the store, spend my money to make sure they all had food for the weekend, drop them back off at his house, and go home, and then go back and pick them up on Sunday. So I was doing that for 2 years. I was stressed. I was tired. I was broke. And here I am back at that space of, what can I control? What I eat and what I drink. And I feel good when I'm eating something good. And I don't have to feel any pain when I'm drinking. And I was strategic with it. So I would drink when they were with him. I would drink when they were in bed, sleeping. I would drink at night, late at night. Never would they see me drinking. I wouldn't drink in the day. I wouldn't drink in the evening when they were up. But late at night, it was going down. In my room, just drinking and watching TV till I passed out. Because I didn't want to feel what I was feeling. It was easy to just... Because when you drink and get tipsy, get drunk, you don't know what's going on. You don't feel anything. And then you just pass out. Because I couldn't sleep at night. I needed something. And that's what I turned to.
Okay.
Food and drinking.
So, you talked about having confidence issues now, and I bring this up, and we've talked about this on the show. So, during that 10-year span when you were single, anybody that listens to our show have heard the stories you told. You had no issues getting men at that particular time. So, was that a false sense of security? Did that mask maybe your confidence issues you were having at the time because you were very popular with the men folk?
Yeah, I think it was a false sense of security. I mean, I dated, but I ain't had no relationships. So, yeah, men saw me first. They saw this. They saw all of that first. So, of course, yeah, men are visual, like you tell me. So, yes, I would get asked out and go out, have a good time. I consider myself a pretty intelligent woman, have good conversation. And sometimes it was me, sometimes it was them. I was very self-sabotaging. If, Lord, he breathed out that right nostril one more time, we are done. I'm not going out with him again. Like that type of stuff. So, never really had anything serious. So dating wasn't a problem.
Was that by choice? Was it just
I think it was both. I think it was by choice. I mean, I did have a guy tell me, I thought you were pretty. I thought we met on one of those dating sites. I thought you had a pretty face. You look good in pictures. You're just bigger in person. And I'm just not into that. I had one guy tell me that.
Okay. So within that 10-year span, you also start to do some modeling.
Yes. And that was to build my confidence. So my sister knew a woman who was in the plus size modeling industry in DC. And my sister was like, you should do it. Like, try it out. I'll put you in contact with her. And she did. And I loved it. My confidence shot up. So yeah, did that for a little while. Pictures were out there on the internet. People are messaging me. I'm getting these plus size model gigs and I'm excited. I'm learning. It's exciting. People think I'm beautiful and I'm just loving it. At my size. That's the key. Nobody told me I needed to lose weight. So I was like, well, shit. I can do this. I can be popular. People can like me and love me, and I ain't got to lose weight. This is for me.
Okay, so you start to build your confidence back up. Looking back on it, and we talked about that false sense of security. Looking back on it now, do you think there was ever a point at that particular time where you were like, I truly love myself in the skin that I'm in?
No. I would say it.
Yeah.
I would post it on social media, but I didn't feel it. Not at all. I still wanted to lose weight. I still wanted to look like, when you're in that industry, there's always somebody prettier. There's always somebody smaller. There's always somebody younger. So I want to look like her. I want to shape like her.
So there was, again, you were basically kind of wrapping yourself in this.
I went from the food, the drinking to the modeling. That was the next outlet.
Okay.
And the next sense of gratification I could get.
Okay. All right. So then, 10 years later, me and you meet.
Mind you, we meet online.
Yes.
You meet me after seeing me online.
Yes, and I make no bones about it. The first time I saw Kymberly Nichole, she had on a. I'm not going to tell that story. Anyway,
Why?
I saw one of her modeling pictures, and my first impression was, I gotta have that. And I knew it was different. Though I found her very physically attractive, it wasn't the normal sexual kind of attraction. It was just like, okay, I gotta know who that is. So I tell people all the time, I joke about it now, I stalked this woman for quite a while until I got her. But this ain't about me. So we get together, and one of the things that I always found very attractive about you was your confidence.
It was
or
fake.
what I perceived as confidence at that time.
It was fake. It
So-
was me and Mr. Jack. Mr. Jack Daniels.
And that is the thing that I found out years later, is that a lot of the time when we were, now mind you, at this particular time I was in Arkansas, she was in Maryland.
So it was easy to hide.
Yeah, I had no idea that when we were having these late night conversations that.
I was throwing them back.
Yeah,
Let's just be real. I was throwing them back.
yeah, I had no, even when I initially left Arkansas and moved here, there was a very long time span. Now, don't get me wrong, I knew she was drinking wine, but hell, what woman don't drink wine? I didn't know she was turning back to hard stuff. Had no idea. So clearly she was a good functional drinker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can function.
And again, never picked up on the fact that what I was finding so attractive about her as far as her confidence was not real. So was it the alcohol? What helped you navigate during that time of us dating to keep that?
It was the Kymberly Nichole persona.
Okay.
The KYM.
Yes.
Because I'm really KIM. But that one, she don't do too much. The Kymberly Nichole was a persona. And drinking was liquid confidence.
So would you say, looking back on it, when we were dating, I probably didn't really know the actual real you at that particular time?
I think you knew me. I think you knew me. You knew my intellect. You knew where I came from. You knew what my values were. You knew how I raised my children. You knew what I wanted in life. But you didn't know that it took me to have a drink to feel comfortable telling you that. So
okay.
I grew up very shy, very introverted and very shy. It would take a herd of buffalo to pull things out of me because I was so very shy. I was painfully shy. So that gave me confidence to speak. And when I think about it, it was my voice. It was the way I was able to communicate. Without it, I would have shut down. You wouldn't have heard from me. I was like a damn hermit in real life.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It took me a while to break that wall down to the point where she would even... Well, she would always tell me, I would call and say, oh, I'm super busy.
Yeah,
And come to find out she was lying.
I couldn't deal with you.
Sitting in the damn bed watching Golden Girls.
I couldn't deal it. I couldn't deal. I couldn't deal with the emotions that come with a relationship. And I knew that there was something I liked about you, but I was like, man, let me tell you what. I can't do this because I did this before. I met someone, really liked them, and then just progressed so quickly. I was like, I can't do this again. Like, because it's going to be some waiting to exhale shit if it don't work out.
All right, so we're going to stop there, and we're going to do part 3, and that's going to take us to the end. Well, I'm not going to say the end. The start and also the continued journey of this whole weight loss journey of Kymberly Nichole.